What's up, y'all? It's your girl, J. Renee, with Prison Riot Radio. I hope that you're doing well. This afternoon, we got a brother on the phone by the name of Angelo Reynolds, and he's going to talk to us about some of the things that is going on in a prison in Indiana. We've spoke on this prison before, and they are known to, just got all the type of wrong things going on. So we're just going to get a little bit more perspective of some of the things that's going on. All right, bro. Thanks for pulling up on us.
No problem.
All right, so I know that you did tell me like briefly some of the things that's going on. It's definitely some things that I've heard before. I want to give you an opportunity to just talk about, like what's going on.
All right. First, I want to talk about deficiency inside this prison.
Okay.
With the medical system. The deficiency is due to incompetent medical staff and practices the medical system have, which prolongs care. I first noticed the deficiency when I suffered from an ear infection with no care 2 months after submitting the request. During the 2 months, I had symptoms of unstableness, pain, hearing loss, and continued to inform medical staff to no avail. After the ear infection was finally treated, the skin inside my ear canal had eroded. I continued to have daily pain to my facial, ear, and head area on my right side, and I experienced hearing loss as well. I then submitted grievances requesting to see an ear specialist and also continued to complain to nurses, which made me a target to officers who were dating nurses or had family or friends beside the medical staff. When the medical staff became aware of the situation with my ear, they attempted to cover up and not treat it due to the asbestos or poorly treated with medicine. They had me on a year and a half after receiving it. I complained a month, telling them it was ineffective. Instead of sending me to an ear specialist to see what's the cause of the pain, they just recently, after 2 years, prescribed me to pain medication.
Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about what you were saying as far as when you were doing your grievances and things like that, complaining to the medical staff. You said that you got some smoke behind that. So can you talk a little bit about that? Like, what do you mean exactly?
Okay, so one situation, it was an officer who was dating a medical staff, a nurse, and when the medical staff would come through, the officer has to walk them through. So the officers will always see me complaining to the medical staff and writing things down, like the times and the situation where they was refusing me medical care, and I began to see get refused my rec, like my door wouldn't open at times, and I was getting threatened by officers and things of that nature.
Okay. I'm sorry that you went through that, bro. Is this something that's still going on with you? Like, what's going on with your health now, and like, how's that situation?
Well, like I said before, I have daily pain to my facial, ear, and head area. I've been writing to doctors requesting to see an ear specialist. They basically are covering up that I have hearing loss every time I do a hearing test. Instead of me, like when the sound comes, instead of me pressing the button to hear if I had a sound, they want me to notify them if I hear the sound or I don't hear the sound, and they type it in. So they're basically doing my my hearing test for me.
Okay, I understand.
And every time I'm done with the hearing test, they say that basically your hearing is fine, but this is not it. This is not true.
Which ear is affected, bro?
My right ear.
Okay. I'm definitely sorry that you are going through that. We need to put something together to help support you getting some care in that area. What about some of the other things that's going on?
All right. Secondly, I want to bring to light the corruption inside the facility on a full spectrum with multiple components making the wrongdoing ongoing. The components are initially the corrupt custody offers, which then results directly to the disciplinary board due to both conspiring and pre-guilty sentence for false disciplinary reports. The higher ranking custody officers and administrative staff gets involved the moment you file grievances. Simply put, the more remedies you attempt to use, the more corruption you are subjected to. Situation with myself, I was subjected to this corruption after an altercation I had with another incarcerated person. And this made me a target because the officer was fired after being placed in segregation, which is called the Secure Control Unit, or the SHU. I noticed it was mold. The water was contaminated. The water contained specks of rust. There was a mice infestation, and there was frequent plumbing issues. I filed grievances, and due to the situation I was already involved in and me complaining about the conditions of the SHU, I became a target of the SHU's lieutenant. He then threatened to take me off cameras, to have me harmed, attempted to have other inmates and officers harm me. He told them I was a snitch for filing grievances and attempts to have prisoners throw boiling water and fecal matter on me. My water was shut off for 10 days for officers refusing me to bring any water. And I became aware of this lieutenant trying to incite other inmates to throw boiling water on me, because a lot of inmates that they attempted to incentivize, they knew me and they knew what type of guy I was.
Mm-hmm.
But I continued to file complaints about the conditions I experienced in the SHU and the misconduct I received from officers for doing so. And there were rumors that the SHU lieutenant had organized for me to get attacked once I left the SHU and went to general population. So there was a situation 2 days after I left the SHU where I was hit with a lock and stabbed by two unknown persons. And during the incident, I was outside on the outside yard, and the officer who was working the yard diverted the officers by calling the signal to the other side of the prison. After the officers finally responded to the situation, the lieutenant who I was being targeted by came and informed me that that was due to filing grievances on him.
Okay. I got a couple questions. So for the 10 days, do you remember the dates of those 10 days?
Yeah, this happened last year, October 25th.
Okay. And then what was the date of your attack?
I'm sorry, the day of my attack was October 25th.
Okay.
What date did you ask me?
It was just those two, the dates for when your water was shut off for the 10 days and then when the attack took place. All right. So what would you like from the listeners and the community as far as support? Like, how can we support you?
I just want to bring light to the injustice that's going on inside the system, especially with the medical staff. Because after I was stabbed, I got stitched by the medical team down here, but the stitches were so poorly done that I continued to bleed profusely through the stitches, to where after they put me in my cell, I lost consciousness, and my cellmate attempted to alert the officers to bring medical care, and after they was aware that I was unconscious in my cell, they left me in there to where my cellmate had to call his family and get them to call to the facility for them to even respond to the situation. So I want to bring to light, especially the injustice with the medical system and the officers just being corrupt. I want this to be spread out to everyone, to the news, any platform that can bring help.
Okay. Is there anything else that you want to let us know that's going on?
Yeah, I want to also talk about being a Muslim and being incarcerated and how your rights and your religion practices get infringed upon. It was a situation where the pipeline had bust in this town, and the toilets had overflowed with sewage, and they had us in our cells for 24 hours without bringing us anything to clean, without nowhere to use the bathroom. I continue to complain about my religious practices and having a clean place to pray, and also somewhere to use the bathroom. But I was refused any relief to the situation. When they brought us water, they did it every 3, 4, 5 hours, and they only brought us 2 cups of water. And I was explaining to them that it wasn't enough to clean. It wasn't enough to clean, drink, and perform my religious duties. But I still was refused any more water other than 2 cups. So I just want to bring to light also that situation with just being a Muslim and being treated inhumane altogether.
All right, bro. I appreciate you, being brave enough to talk about this. We definitely gonna put this out there, and we're gonna see what we can do as far as blowing up their phones.
Right.
Is there anything else that you want to add before we go?
I just want to add that, like you said, one have to be brave to bring about situations like this, because just complaining inside the facility, I've been subjected to my food poisoning, my mail withheld when I try to contact people. My clothes been taken. I'm refused shower direct. Nobody assisting me with trying to get transferred from the facility. So I just appreciate you giving me a platform to bring light to these issues.